One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. To let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hears back to cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Whistlers report and pace his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Man, is it just another beautiful, cold motherfucking day in the neighborhood. Yo, shout out to all the legends up in the building. Thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out with us, man. You guys could have been anywhere else in the world, but you guys decided to be here, man. I can't appreciate you enough. Can't thank you enough. Guys, before we get into what's going on, of course, you guys see that we are going to be absolutely live streaming the Trump delivers remarks to the Economic Forum. Now, let me just kind of show you. We're on standby here. Boom. We're on standby here as we're waiting for the live stream to start. And listen, I start at 10, whether he goes live or not. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But hopefully, you guys are all enjoying your morning and staying warm out there because it is fucking cold. I actually should check the weather. What temp is it right now for you guys? We're doing like a temp check. Today it warmed up for me. It is 33 degrees today. It went from 20 degrees yesterday to 33. So we're warming up a little bit. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Number one metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely and it's free. If you guys are brand new to the show, hit that subscribe button because it is also free. Please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month every single Saturday morning, 10 a.m. CST. Same time that we go live Monday through Friday. Just on Saturday, it's a members only live stream for you guys. We get to be quite a bit uncensored over there. We get to say pretty much what we want because we're not live streaming to the mass audience of YouTube. It's only a select few. Yes, sir. Feels good. So follow my Instagram, by the way, at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only myself, but of, the show. Listen, I'm going to be honest. This right here, and I say this all the time, this is better than my phone number. I really think it is better than my phone number because I see this quicker than I usually see like texts or calls, only because of the amount of, time I utilize Instagram. And I have like the kind of like the normal notifications when you get a text, when you get a phone call or whatever, you get it pops up on your phone. Well, that's what Instagram does with me. So I see it all the fucking time. Anyways, follow me over there, direct message me over there. If you guys are interested in the Discord, by the way, if you guys have Discord, we have it in the description down below of this video and also all the other videos that we have. Also, last but not least, man, listen, every single super chat, super sticker, gifted membership signups, all of those are shouted out, of course. But if you guys would like to help out the show and skip that brutal 30% YouTube cut, we have these scrolling for the remainder of the show. And of course, I will be shouting out you and your message when you send something over there. So we'll allow that to just scroll on, But good morning to all of you legends. We got KP up in the building. We got Gary. Good to see you guys. Tiffany, always appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Slim, top of the morning, kind sir. We got Brother Hardwire as well. And fuck it, going live. That's right, Slim. We do it live, motherfuckers. Absolutely. We got Steve up in here as well. Let's rock this place. Good morning, Mike Ball and Breakfast Club. Always appreciate you, as well as Carney, Brother Glare, 1%er. Appreciate you as always. We got Beezer as well down there in South Florida. Always appreciate my man over there. We got Straight Jacket as well saying, yep, Lily's pregnant again, y'all. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Here comes the 13th, you know. Yeah, this motherfucker. I don't know how he does that shit. Yeah, another tax write-off. Yep. That's basically the only way I'd look at it too. Like at that point, you know, you get past 5 kids. All right, now we're just talking just write-offs, you know. It's savage, but it's true. We got Pitbull over there in the UK, man, saying, hey, all fam, hope you're all okay and have an amazing day. I hope that you are as well. I'm hoping that you've had a good day because it's already afternoon for you, early afternoon. So hopefully you're doing well. It's 38 here today. Wow, it warmed up around the world, huh? Or the United States, I guess I should say. Yeah, Straight Jacket, that's right. -2 this morning. Damn, that's fucking cold, dude. 20 in Albuquerque, that's fucking cold. That's what I was dealing with yesterday. 48 and raining. That's actually pretty damn cold for you in Florida, dude. In South Florida especially. Damn. Are you guys having any snow in Florida? I heard that you guys had a little bit of snow in Florida. See, how is Barbie? She lives in Alberta, Canada, mind you. It's 37 degrees. It is warmer in Alberta, Canada, right this second, than it is in North Alabama, which we're talking, this is the South. I mean, like, we don't deal with this kind of cold shit normally. I mean, it does happen once in a while, but when Alberta, Canada is warmer than Alabama, I geographically just don't understand that shit.
Stupid.
You know what I mean? I don't get it. We got Pitbull sending in £2. By the way, we love them British pounds. We don't like the British crown, but we like the British currency, which is crowns, or pounds. This from all the insane family. Have a great day. I very much appreciate that. Helps out the show immensely, as well as Carney sending in a 2 spot, by the way, saying Breakfast Club King. That's right. Carney, I very much appreciate that, kind sir. Thank you for supporting the channel, you guys. I very much appreciate that. Mount High, as always appreciate you guys. Like button and left-handed tobacco all around. That's right. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Very much appreciate that. We get AU as well. Good to see you, my man. Always appreciate it. We're about to get into it because it is live. He just got on the podium. Perfect timing. Wow.
Likewise,
all right,
the cost of servicing the debt is more than 230% higher than was projected in 2020. The inflation rate we are inheriting remains 50% higher than the historic target. It was the highest inflation probably in the history of our country.
Ron Ratty.
That's why from
Australia's out here in the building. Shout out.
The moment I took office, I've taken rapid action to reverse each and every one of these radical left policies that created this calamity.
That's crazy.
In particular with immigration, crime, and inflation. On day one, I signed an executive order directing every member of my cabinet to marshal all powers at their disposal to defeat inflation and reduce the cost of daily life. I imposed a federal hiring freeze, a federal regulation freeze, a foreign aid freeze.
That's cold.
And I created the new Department of Government Efficiency. I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Scam.
It is a Green New Scam.
From the one-sided Paris Climate Accord and ended the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. We're going to let people buy the car they want to buy. I declared a national energy emergency, and it's so important, national energy emergency to unlock the liquid gold under our feet and pave the way for rapid approvals of new energy infrastructure. The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we're going to use it. Not only will this reduce the cost of virtually all goods and services, it'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto. My administration has also begun the largest deregulation campaign in history, far exceeding even the record-setting efforts of my...
Yeah, the audio's like an interesting super, I don't know, like They're using a real microphone this time. I can tell you that.
Last term. In total, the Biden administration
sounds like a condenser mic, almost kind of like what I've got.
Imposed $50,000 in additional regulatory
Yes,
costs on the
Blair.
average American household over the last 4 years.
Economics can be very monotone. You know what I mean? It definitely can be. We got Hardwire sending in a 5 spot saying, please let people know I have a benefit Sunday. So there will be a special Sunday evening edition, 7 p.m. Eastern of Hitting It with Hardwire this week. So are you doing a double show or are you just doing one show? And that one show is at 7 p.m. So I know for damn sure you're doing the 7 p.m. now. But yeah, boom, there we go. Thank you for that, Hardwire. Everyone here, you guys take notes. Appreciate that, Hardwire.
Promise to eliminate 10 old regulations for every new regulation, which will soon put many thousands of dollars back in the pockets of American families. To further unleash our economy, our majorities in the House and Senate, which we also took along with the presidency, are going to pass the largest tax cut in American history, including massive tax cuts for workers and family, and big tax cuts for domestic producers and manufacturers. And we're working with the Democrats on getting an extension of the original Trump tax cuts, as you probably know, by just reading any paper. My message to every business in the world is very simple. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth.
Which has been the exact opposite of what it has been.
Bringing them down very substantially, even from the original
tax
cuts. But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative,
down there in Australia,
very simply, you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff which will direct hundreds of billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars into our treasury to strengthen our economy and pay down debt. Under the Trump administration, there will be no better place on earth to create jobs, build factories, or grow a company than right here in the good old USA.
I would certainly hope. I mean, because every fucking industry has pretty much left the United States. I mean, the only thing that we really export at this point is cement, a couple of different types of minerals. We got wood chips, paint chips that we send out, wine. Lots of wine. We export a lot of wine. But that's really it.
Already Americans economic, you can see this, I think maybe even in your wonderful, wonderful room that you're all gathered together. So many of my friends, but Americans, the economic
What's up, Lawrence? Good morning.
Soaring like we haven't seen in many, many decades, maybe not at all. Upon my election, it was just announced that small business optimism skyrocketed by 41 points in a single month. That's the highest ever. There's never been anything like that.
That's a big deal.
SoftBank has announced between a $100 and $200 billion investment in the U.S. economy because of the election result. And just 2 days ago, Oracle, SoftBank, and OpenAI announced a
Yeah, this is a big deal right here. Originally, you guys remember at Mar-a-Lago, after the pre-inauguration speech, there was a company, I believe SoftBank, came out and said, we'll give you $100 billion to fund into the United States ecosystem. You know what I mean? We're going to go ahead and just start economically pouring in and invest right there. And then Trump looked at him and said, well, you make that 200 billion? Like right there on the podium. And the guy's like, well, 100 billion is a lot of money. He goes, well, you know, you want to do business in the United States, right? 200 billion won't be a big deal. And then just a couple of days ago, there was this announcement of what they're going to be infusing our economy with.
$200 billion investment in the U.S. economy because of the election result. And just 2 days ago, Oracle, SoftBank, and OpenAI announced a $500 billion investment in AI infrastructure.
That's huge.
Other companies likewise have announced billions and billions and billions, adding up to trillions of investment in America, in the United States. And it's also reported today in the papers
morning, Jess.
that Saudi Arabia
over there in Australia
will be investing at least $600 billion in America. But I'll be asking the Crown Prince, who's a fantastic guy, to round it out to around $1 trillion. I think they'll do that because we've been very good to them.
we're at $500 million. Just go ahead and round that shit up to $1 trillion.
And I'm also going to ask Saudi Arabia and OPEC to bring down the cost of oil. You got to bring it down, which frankly, I'm surprised they didn't do before the election. That didn't show a lot of love by them not doing it. I was a little surprised by that. If the price came down, the Russia-Ukraine war would end immediately. Right now, the price is high enough that war will continue. You got to bring down the oil price. You got to end that war. They should have done it long ago. They're very responsible, actually, to a certain extent for what's taking place. Millions of lives are being lost. With oil prices going down, I'll demand that interest rates drop immediately. And likewise, they should be dropping all over the world. Interest rates should follow us. All over, the progress that you're seeing is happening because of our historic victory in a recent presidential election, one that has become quite well known throughout the world. I think a lot of things are happening to a lot of countries. They say that there's light shining all over the world since the election, and even countries that we aren't particularly friendly with are happy because they understand what there is a future and how great the future will be. Under our leadership, America is back and open for business. And this week,
that's right,
I'm also taking swift action to stop the invasion at our southern border. They allowed people to come in at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It was ridiculous. I decided and declared to do, and very, very importantly, a national emergency on our border, immediately halted all entry of illegal border crossers, of which there were many, and began promptly returning the illegal trespassers back to the place from which they came. That action, as you've probably seen, has already started very strongly. I've deployed active duty U.S. military and National Guard troops to the border to assist in repelling the invasion. It was really an invasion. We will not allow our territory to be violated. After 4 long years,
I think the big main reason, Charles, for AI is actually for medical, not necessarily for AI like making songs and shit or fucking making scripts up like prompts and stuff like that. What they're talking about is medical.
The United States is strong and sovereign and a beautiful nation. Once again, it's a strong, sovereign nation. In addition, I'm pleased to report that America is also a free nation once again. On day one, I signed an executive order to stop all government censorship. No longer will our government label the speech of our own citizens as misinformation or
Fucking A. And he knows what's going on with like Zuckerberg. And I mean, now we got to get YouTube to really, YouTube already said that their censorship is essentially going to come to a kind of a halt, but I really would like a better definition of changes, what they're going to do. Kind of like with Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff, Meta, they laid out what they're going to do and what they're going to stop doing. I wish YouTube would do the exact same.
Disinformation, which are the favorite words of censors and those who wish to stop the free exchange of ideas and, frankly, progress. We have saved free speech in America, and we've saved it strongly. With another historic executive order this week, I also ended the weaponization of law enforcement against the American people and, frankly, against politicians, and restored the fair, equal, and impartial rule of law. My administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. And these are policies that were absolute nonsense throughout the government and the private sector.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They're doing it for medical reasons. Like they're trying, like, for instance, the AI that they're wanting to use in this big investment is being able to diagnose different types of cancers and cure different types of cancers and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the investment that they're
with the recent
really
yet
focused
somewhat
on.
Unexpected great Supreme Court decision just made. America will once again become a merit-based country. You have to hear that word, merit-based country. And I've made it official, an official policy of the United States, that there are only 2 genders, male and female. And we will have no men participating in women's sports and transgender operations, which became.
Yeah, I've heard that number is now, like in total, it's like 500 or 300. I can't remember the exact, but it's like 300 people, 500 people. I think it's 500 have been arrested by ICE since the very first day.
The rage will occur.
That's crazy,
very
Frank.
Rarely. Finally, as we restore common sense in America, we're moving quickly
Brother
to
Dean,
bring back
good morning.
strength and
That's
peace
right.
and stability abroad. I'm also going to ask all NATO nations to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP, which is what it should have been years ago.
Defund it
was
all.
only at 2%, and most nations didn't pay until I came along. I insisted that they pay, and they did.
I don't know why we even do that. Just pull out completely. Don't even say nothing. Just fucking go, you know what? We're done funding this. We're going to defund all of it. And now good luck. Good luck. Figure it out. You know what I mean? That's what I would, that would be a way bigger W. I mean, yes, getting them to pay their fair share at bare minimum, that's at least a great thing. But still, you know what I mean? I would rather personally, I don't think like NATO, UN, the EU, all that shit that we fund, Americans don't see no fucking benefit from it. You know what I mean? At this point, just defund it all. That's what I say. And we got Truism up in the building saying, yo, what's good, man? Good morning. Hopefully you're doing well. Good to see you.
Because the United States was really paying the difference at that time, and it was unfair to the United States. But many, many things have been unfair for many years to the United States. Before even taking office, my team negotiated a ceasefire agreement in the Middle East, which...
Right. Take claim of that shit. That was not fucking Biden and his administration. We all know that.
Wouldn't have happened without us, as I think most of the people...
It would have never happened, at least with Hamas. It would have never happened if Trump didn't say what he did on his pre-inauguration speech, saying, if I get into office and there has not been a deal made and hostages returned, there will be hell to pay. There will be hell to pay. And yet Biden was like, oh, we got the deal done. And so did Anthony Blinken. Oh, yeah, we got this deal done. No, you didn't do shit, motherfucker.
In the room now. Earlier this week, the hostages began to return to their families. They are returning, and it's a beautiful sight, and they'll be coming in more and more. They started coming back on Sunday. Our efforts to secure a peace settlement between Russia and Ukraine are now hopefully underway. It's so important to get that done. That is an absolute killing field. Millions of soldiers are being killed. Nobody's seen anything like it since World War II. They're laying dead all over the flat fields. It's a flat field farmland, and there's millions of Russians and millions of Ukrainians, and nobody's seen anything like it since World War II. It's time to end it. And here in America, we have big events coming up. Next year, we have the 250th anniversary of America's founding. I'm so honored to be president during that. That's been a big event. They've been talking about it for 10 years. We also have the World Cup. And I understand Gianni's in the room. Infantino, he was very instrumental in helping us get
Listen to those names. Those are two wild names.
He's there with you someplace, I think. And I want to thank him for that. And then we have the Olympics coming up, which I was instrumental in getting also in my first term. And who would have known that by skipping a term, I would get the Olympics? I was upset.
Who would have
I said, you know, I got the Olympics to come and I won't be president. But it turned out through a stroke of luck, or whatever you might call it, that I'm going to be president during the World Cup and the Olympics and the 250th
Brother Todd J, good morning.
So it's going to be
as well as Bob. Good to see you, gentlemen. Hopefully you're doing absolutely fantastic this beautiful morning and staying warm.
Big events. And we've accomplished more in less than 4 days.
I agree,
KP. We've really
KP.
been working 4 days than other administrations have accomplished in 4 years. And we're just getting started. It's really an amazing thing to see. And the spirit and the light over our country has been incredible. Under the last administration, our nation has suffered greatly. But we're going to bring it back and make it greater, bigger, stronger, better than ever before. I want to thank everybody for being with you. I would have been there myself.
Yo, wild card, shout out to you. Good morning.
The inauguration was 2 days ago. I thought it might be a little bit quick to make it the first stop. But we'll get there one day. We hope to get there. But I do appreciate, I heard the audience is fantastic.
Me too.
Many of my friends are in the audience. And
Truism, it's time to make some serious fucking coin. You know what I mean? It's time to make money now. Absolutely.
I will be taking questions now from some very distinguished people. Thank you all very much.
Questions?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President,
Nice.
for that very powerful speech. And I think you could hear the applause all the way from Davos to the White House. But next year it will be even better.
To the White House.
Because then you can get the applause here in Davos. So we wish you welcome to our village next year. We hope to see you.
Thank you very much.
So we also know, Mr. President, that you open up for interaction here. We have a great panel with some of the most distinguished business people.
Shit. Right before we get into the questions, man, exactly like SNS said, make sure you guys hit that like button, everybody. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free. I don't ask you guys to send in like money or anything like that. Just hit that like button. That's all I ask. Please. I very much appreciate that.
In the world. Let me start with someone that you know really well, that I think is almost a neighbor of you in in Florida. Mr. Steve Schwarzman, Chairman, CEO, and co-founder of Blackstone Group. So, Steve, floor's yours.
Well, Mr. President, I'm sure the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia will be really glad you gave this speech today. You've had the busiest 4 days that anybody can imagine, and congratulations for that. My question is about some of the things I've observed here at Davos. It's a terrific forum. I've met lots of people, as usual. I think I've been here 30 years. And a lot of the European
That's right,
business
Butch Khan.
people have expressed enormous frustration with the regulatory regime in the EU. And they attribute
I couldn't tell you, Glare. I couldn't tell you. Spit it out, motherfucker. You know? Come on.
slower growth rates here because of the numerous factors, but especially because of regulations. And you've taken a completely different approach.
You
in
notice
this
that too,
area.
Beezer?
And if you could explain the theory of what you're doing, how you're going to do it, and what you expect the outcome to be, I'd appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. And congratulations, Steve. You're a friend of mine, but on a great career. You've had an amazing career and it continues. I just want to congratulate you. Very inspirational to a lot of people. I want to talk about the EU because you mentioned specifically that I've also had a lot of friends and leaders of countries. I've gotten to know them all my first term and
Fuck the EU.
a little bit during this period of 4 years and know them well, like them a lot, but they're very frustrated because of the time everything seems to take to get approved, environmental impact statements for things that you shouldn't even have to do that, and many, many other ways that it takes. And I'm going to give you a quick little example. In the private life, my beautiful private life, before I had all these things happening, the world is a little different. I had a nice, simple life. You knew that. But when I had that simple life, I did projects, and I had a big project in Ireland, and it had to get approval on something that would have made it even better. And I got the approval from Ireland in a period of a week. And it was a very, very, very efficient, good approval. And they informed me, though, the problem is you're going to have to get it from the EU, and we think that'll take 5 to 6 years. And they said, you have to be kidding. And this was before politics. And I said, wait a minute, it's not that important. I don't want to go 5 or 6 years, but it would have been a big investment. It would have been nice, and it would have been good for the project. And I sent the people to the EU to see if they could speed it up. And basically it was a 5 or 6 year wait just to get a simple approval that Ireland gave me in a period of literally not much more than a week. And I realized right then, that was the first time I really was involved with the EU, but I realized right then that's a problem. And I didn't even bother
It's a problem
applying to do it. And, or if I did, I pulled it very quickly. I have to be very accurate because I don't want to be criticized. He did apply, actually, No, I want to be very accurate. So I don't think I did, but if I did, I pulled it very quickly. It was just something you couldn't wait 5 years or 6 years to get an approval. So a lot of, in a very big business sense, a lot of people are claiming that's the problem. From the standpoint of America, the EU treats us very, very unfairly.
Yeah,
very
that's very possible as well. What's up, Jay? Always good to see you, my man. Hopefully you're staying warm out there. A lot of us are in, you know, the cold weather at this point, you know, except for a handful of people in here, you know, you guys in California or in fucking South Florida, some bullshit.
badly. They have a large
That's right,
tax
Dean.
that we know about and a VAT tax, and it's a very substantial one. They don't take essentially don't take our farm products, and they don't take our cars, yet they send cars to us by the millions. They put tariffs on.
Yo, what's up, Ragnar? Hopefully you're doing fantastic as well and staying warm, like I was just saying. Hopefully you're doing well. Good morning.
Things that we want to do, like for
I
instance,
saw
I think
it.
they actually, in
saw
terms
it.
of these are non-economic or non-monetary
Danny.
tariffs, and those are very bad, and they make it very difficult to bring products into Europe, and yet they expect to be selling, and they do sell their products in the United States. So we have, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars of deficits with the EU, and nobody's happy with it, and we're going to do something about it, but nobody's happy with it. So I think the EU has to speed up their process. Friends of mine that are in some of the nations within the EU, great people, they want to be able
Joseph up there in Canada as well, joining in, saying, stop the cat. You already know the deal.
Stop the cap.
What's good, my man? Good to see you as
to
always.
compete better, and you can't compete when you can't
And
get
fathers fight
go
back.
through the approval
Yeah.
process fast. There's no reason why it can't go faster. So, you know, I'm trying to be constructive because I love Europe. I love the countries of Europe, but the process is a very cumbersome one, and they do treat the United States of America very, very.
Yeah, it warmed up like 13 degrees for us, you know, one day. Yesterday it was 20 degrees. Today it's 33 right now. So it's warming up a little bit. The South is not supposed to be this fucking cold.
Unfairly with the VAT taxes and all of the other taxes they impose. One other, just to finish up, I got a call from the head of a major airline, one of the biggest airlines in the world, and he said, "Sir, could you help us? What? Landing in Europe is brutal. They charge us fees for everything, and it's so unfair." I said, "How does it compare to China?" He said, it's much worse. And the other thing, as you know, they took court cases with Apple, and they
Shit, fathers fight back already knows the deal. You know, there's a nice little halt to the show real quick. Hey, I very much appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Helps out the show immensely. And it's free. If you guys are brand new to the channel, by the way, hitting that subscribe button, it's also free. Just wanted to let you guys know that. Appreciate you very much.
supposedly won a case that most people didn't think was much of a case. They won 15 or 16 billion from
Hell
Apple.
yeah, wild card.
They won
That's
billions
awesome.
from Google. I think they're after Facebook for billions and billions. These are American
Let's go.
companies, whether you like them or not. They're American companies, and they shouldn't be doing that. And that's, as far as I'm concerned, it's a form of taxation. So we have some very big complaints with the EU. Thank you.
Yeah, fuck the EU. That's what I have to say. Fuck NATO and the UN with that, you know, as well.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you,
President.
thank
Go to one of your friends in the EU, Patrick Pouyanné. He's the chairman CEO of Total Energies. I guess you have a question ready, Patrick, for the president.
Mr. President, as we understand, energy is at the top of your agenda, and it's an honor for me to represent the energy industry tonight in this panel. Total Energies is indeed
That's
the
true,
fourth
Emerald.
largest oil and gas and electricity company in the world. I will not ask you a question about the oil price. It's quite clear what you expect from us. I will go to gas more. And our company is the largest #1 exporter LNG from the US company. We are a strong contributor to, and we invest in a mammoth LNG.
Bro, this is probably the best community I mean, dude, I've been a part of so many communities on YouTube, Twitch, Justin TV. And you know, we can even dive into the social media aspect of it too, because YouTube is not a social media. YouTube is a video search engine, and it's more of like a show-esque type of ordeal. I gotta admit, out of all communities, the Breakfast Club as a whole is the best group of people I've ever had the honor of being able to stream to and be a part of. So on both sides, not only being a part of in other people's chats and other people's communities, but for me to be able to have the number one community in my chat, you know what I mean? And as me being a part of it, you know, both of them are true. So I very much appreciate all of you guys. And be safe out there, brother KP. I always appreciate your support, man.
The projects in Texas, $20 billion. It's far from 200, but it's $20 billion. And we contribute with that to security of supply to Europe as we export this LNG to Europe. Some experts fear that if there are too many projects developed in the US on LNG, this could have an inflationary impact on the US domestic gas price. And they recommend a pause on these projects. I would ask you the following question. What are your views about such a pause on investments on LNG in the US? What would happen if you would observe an increased domestic gas price because of these exports? And final question, which is important for Europe, would you agree to guarantee security of supply of US LNG to Europe?
Well, on the last part of your question, yes, I would. I would make sure that you get.
I don't know why, but she got super tired right before the show. She's sleeping. So she sleeps behind my head. I have like 3 pillows that are stacked on the bed, and she sleeps on the very back one. And usually right now she's up and about. You see her all the time. But for some reason, after I fed her, she got like all sleepy. So she got up there and she just fell asleep. So today she's sleeping.
It. If we make a deal, we make a deal. You'll get it, because a lot of people do have that problem. They make a deal and then it can't get supplied because of war type problems and other problems. So we would absolutely do that. LNG is very interesting.
And thank God for what our First Amendment auditors do. Now, some of them are jackasses. Those guys, I think I'm talking about the real First Amendment auditors who really are about that shit. Not those kids or whatever. I'm not talking about those people.
Interesting, because when I took office for the first term, one of the first things I looked at was there were 2 very massive plants in Louisiana, a state that has been very good to me, won it by many, many points. And I felt strongly indebted to it, actually. And they said there are 2 plants that have been under environmental consideration for more than 10 years. And they were costing, as you say, you know how expensive those plants are, but they were costing like 12 billion and I think 14 or 15 billion, but they couldn't get their permits. They were in review for years, many, many years, like a decade.
I can only imagine.
More. And I said, so ridiculous. I know so much about that because in the construction industry, I had to go through it too, but I got good at it after a while.
Wild card, that's hilarious. Are you going to be around for when I do my reviews? Because I do it like every other week. I know it's not meant for everybody, those Pop Balloon episodes. I used to do it once a week. You know, now I've done it. Now I do it once every other week. So like this upcoming Breakfast Club, I may do it. You know what I mean? I may do it for Saturday.
But I saw the projects, and you're talking about a total investment of 25 to $30 billion, and it looked like it was going to end. They couldn't get their permits, and I got them done in less than a week. It was done, completed. In fact, when they called them to announce that it was done, the countries, largely countries, Japan was involved and another country and some very big investors, they couldn't believe it. They actually couldn't believe it. And I said, just do yourself one favor. Don't pay any consultants, because the only one that got it done was me. I got it done because it was the right thing to do for the U.S. and for the world. But the consultants had nothing to do with it. You know, the consultants go in and they say, give us millions of dollars, because
give us millions and millions and billions.
I just heard it was a problem for years. And I got it done because it was the right thing to do for the U.S. and the right thing to do for beyond. It had to do with energy, very important. So I think it's very important. I think I disagree with one. I think the more that you do, the lower the price is going to go. And what I'd like to see is rapid approvals. We're going to get very rapid approvals in the United States, like with the AI plants, talking to many people want to build them. That's going to be a very big thing. We're going to build electric generating facilities. They are going to build. I'm going to get them the approval. Under emergency declaration, I can get the approvals done myself without having to go through years of waiting. And the big problem is we need double the energy we currently have in the United States. Can you imagine? For AI to really be as big as we want to have it, because it's a very competitive, it'll be very competitive with China and others. So I'm going to give emergency declarations so that they can start building them almost immediately. And I think it was largely my idea because nobody thought this was possible. It wasn't that they were not smart, because they're the smartest. But I told them that what I want you to do is build your electric generating plant right next to your plant.
Exactly the point right there. People that really know the laws, really know their shit, they're not ones to ever overstep. It's actually the cops, the police that usually fucking do the overstepping, right? I can't stand when we have a First Amendment auditor doing some shit that you know it's like, it's okay to ride the line, but just shoving a camera down someone's face and saying I'm allowed to be here is not a First Amendment audit. You know what I mean? Like, you have to actually be able to be well spoken and be like, hey, on this section of this law, blah blah blah, it states I can do this. You know, I can do, you know, whatever. Like, and I'm not just talking free speech auditors. You know, I mean, there's a lot of different freedom auditors
connected. And they said, wow, you're kidding. And I said, no, I'm not kidding. You don't have to hook into the grid, which is old and, you know, could be taken out. If it's taken out, they wouldn't have any way to get any electricity. So we are going to allow them to go on a rapid basis to build their plant, build the electric generating plant. They can fuel it with anything they want, and they may have coal as a backup. Good, clean coal. You know, if there were a problem with a pipe coming in, as an example, you're going with gas, oil or gas, and a pipe gets blown up or for some reason doesn't work, there are some companies in the U.S. that have coal sitting right by the plant so that if there's an emergency, they can go to that short-term basis and use our very clean coal.
Christopher,
so that's something else.
Hopefully you're doing well this morning. I know that we are over here, and hopefully you're staying warm.
So a lot of people didn't even know about, but nothing can destroy coal, not the weather, not a bomb, nothing. It might make it a little smaller, might make it a little different shape, but coal is very strong as a backup. It's a great backup to have that facility, and it wouldn't cost much more money. And we have more coal than anybody. We also have more oil and gas than anybody. So we're going to make it so that the plants will have their own electric generating facilities attached right to their plant. They don't have to worry about a utility. They don't have to worry about anything. And we're going to get very rapid approvals.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. President. We'll now go to another CEO that you know very well, Brian Moynihan, the CEO and chair of Bank of America.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Wow.
And congratulations.
CEO of Bank of America.
And obviously an eventful week for you and your family. If you remember 5 years ago, you came here and we walked among 150 CEOs from all over the world and you engaged with them about your policies and your...
Did the pipe bust because of your water froze or some shit? Like, that's usually how pipes bust down here, at least. But hopefully, damn, that sucks.
Procedures. This year, you're not here, and yet this week was eventful from the orders that you mentioned earlier. Literally a wave of orders coming out on immigration, on trade, and many other matters. And so, as a representative of the United States here, we got a lot of questions about what does all this mean and how would the president square this with his clear focus on growth, prosperity, market growth, stock market growth, a good bond market, and bringing down prices. So how do you think about the impact of all these orders and how fast they come out and how you're going to balance them with that scorecard of being successful in both continuing GDP growth, bringing down inflation and also having a good stock price appreciation for the American citizen?
Well, I think it's going to actually bring down inflation. It's going to bring up jobs. We're going to have a lot of jobs. We're going to have a lot of companies moving in. You know, Brian, we're at 21%. It was at 40%, and I got it down to 21%, the corporate tax. And it was actually, if you look at state and city,
corporate tax was at 40+%. Now it's at 20.
In many cases, much higher than 40%. I got it down to 21%. And now we're going to bring it down from 21 to 15% if, there's a big if you make your product in the U.S. So we're going to have the lowest, just about the lowest rate. It'll be, the 21 is on the low side worldwide. The 15 is about as low as it gets. And by far the lowest of a large country, a large, you know, rich, powerful country by far, not even a contest. So we're going to bring it down to 15% if you make your product in the USA. So that's going to create a tremendous buzz. We're also probably going back to the 1 year deduction where we deduct, you know, we did that originally, and that was amazing what the impact that had, the 1 year deduction.
Yeah, before he even stepped foot in the office. I mean, shit. Got a lot of shit done just by the world knowing he's coming in
which built up over a period of time, and then it expires. But we're going to go back to that when we do the renewal of the Trump tax plan. We have to get Democrats to approve it. But, you know, if the Democrats didn't approve it, I don't know how they can survive with about a 45% tax increase, because that's what it would be. And so I think they're going to be, we've been working along with them pretty well. I think it's very hard for a political group to say, let's charge people 45% more. So I think we're in good shape, but we're actually doing a reduction for business and small businesses where you're going to bring it down to 15%, which is really something. And by the way, speaking of you, and you've done a fantastic job, but I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank. And that included a place called Bank of America. This conservative, they don't take
Oh shit, he's calling out the CEO right here, right now. Oh shit. Saying there was business denied because they were voting a certain way. Wow. Bank of America, huh? Let's bring it back a little bit.
Because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank. And that included a place called Bank of America. This conservative, they don't take conservative business. And I don't know if the regulators mandated that because of Biden or what, but you and Jamie and everybody, I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives, because what you're doing is wrong.
Holy shit. He said that shit right to the motherfucker's face on the podium. Man.
Mr. President, I'll say that
that doesn't happen.
Gianni said hello, told me to tell you hello, and we look forward to sponsoring the World Cup when it comes both this summer for the club and next year. So thank you for getting that for the United States.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll now go to Anna Butin. She's the
even
executive
rebuttal.
chairman of Banco Santander, one of the big European banks, and also in the U.S. So, Anna.
Mr. President, congratulations on a historic victory. I believe you don't know me as well as my fellow panelists, so a few words. Santander is one of the largest banks in the world by number of customers, 170 million. That's more than my friend Brian or my friend Jamie have.
Oh, shit. Well,
and those...
Damn, that was a little fucking shameless plug / jab.
They fix the regulation.
That's coming. That's coming.
That was cheeky.
That was
cheeky. We're a big investor in the United States. We have many million customers, 12,000 employees. We're one of the largest auto lenders. And we recently launched a fully digital bank called Open Bank. We strongly believe banks have a pivotal role in the economy, and we can accelerate growth and help many more customers. That's what we're doing in the United States. So, as Brian pointed out, we very much welcome your focus on deregulation and reducing bureaucracy.
So that's what you're going to hope for, that Trump says to this lady right here, you're going to start paying the U.S. back?
Question is, what are your priorities in this regard? And how fast is this going to happen? Thank you very much.
I think it's going to, thank you and congratulations. I know very much about your bank, and you've done a fantastic job. Congratulations. We are going to move very quickly. We've moved very quickly. We've done things in the last 3 days that nobody thought were possible to do in years. And it's all taking effect. It's going to have a huge impact on the economy, a huge positive impact. Money was being wasted on crazy things. I mean, the Green New Deal was such a total disgrace. How that was perpetrated, and it was conceived of by people that were average students, less than average students, I might add, and never even took a course in energy or the environment. It was just a game. Remember, the world was going to end in 12 years. Remember that? Well, the 12 years has come and gone. It was going to end. It was going to all foam into earth. But, you know, the time has come. These people, and they really scared the Democrats large. I can't say the Republicans. The Republicans maybe could have fought harder to stop it, but it's been a tremendous waste of money. You know, during my 4 years, we had the cleanest air, we had the cleanest water, and yet we had the most productive economy in the history of our country. We had the most productive economy until COVID came. We had the most productive in the history of our country by far. And actually, you can look worldwide. We were beating everybody from China to everybody else. So, and we think we really now, with what we have learned and all of the other things that have taken place, we think we can even far surpass that, actually far surpass it. But we do, one thing we're going to be demanding is we're going to be demanding respect from other nations. Canada, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. We're not going to have that anymore. We can't do it. I don't know if it's good for them. As you probably know, I say you can always become a state. And if you're a state, we won't have a deficit. We won't have to tariff you, et cetera, et cetera. But Canada has been very tough to deal with over the years. And it's not fair that we should have a $200 billion or $250 billion deficit. We don't need them to make our cars, and they make a lot of them. We don't need their lumber because we have our own forests, et cetera, et cetera. We don't need their oil and gas. We have more than anybody. So, you know, just as an example, with
drill,
Mexico,
baby,
we're
drill.
Dealing with Mexico, I think, very well.
Yeah.
And we're just, you know, we just want to be treated fairly with other nations, because there's hardly a nation in the world, and I blame this on us, and I blame it on politicians that, for some reason, mostly it's stupidity, but you could also say other reasons, but mostly stupidity. They've allowed other nations to take advantage of the U.S., and we can't allow that to happen anymore. You know, we have debt. It's a very small debt when you compare it to the value of the assets that we have, but we don't want to do that. We want to just have debt be obliterated, and we'll be able to do that fairly rapidly. And a lot of good things are going to happen. And honestly, good things are going to happen for the world, and good things are going to happen for the people that are dealing with us, allies and beyond allies. One thing very important, I really would like to be able to meet with President Putin soon and get that war ended. And that's not from the standpoint of economy or anything else. It's from the standpoint of millions of lives are being wasted. Beautiful young people are being shot.
Yeah, a very, very different term than his very first term, right? You guys see a big difference in his demeanor, the way he speaks, the professionalism, stuff like that. Yeah, this is fantastic. This is the way that we all hoped that he would have been on the first term. Now he learned. And I think he's gotten a little bit older as well, in the aspect of like, man, I've been there, done that now. Now I know not what to do, you know, what not to do type thing. You know, hindsight is 20/20, right? And only 2 American presidents have ever been able to serve non-consecutive, which is fantastic. You know, I mean, so you really get that, hey, constructive, I can look back at this and go, I need to change that about me. And that takes a really strong person to do that.
In the battlefield,
and do it.
Know, the bullet, very flat land, as I said, and the bullet goes, there's no hiding. And a bullet, the only thing going to stop the bullet is a human body. And you have to see, I've seen pictures of what's taken place. It's a carnage. And We really have to stop that war. That war is horrible. And I'm not talking economy. I'm not talking economics. I'm not talking about natural resource. I'm just talking about.
And he did cut the money. The money is cut for like 90 days or something like that. All funding to any foreign country has ended. There's a 90-day hold on all foreign affairs and foreign monies that we're sending abroad, so that until we lock down and figure out, okay, we need to do some accounting here. You know, we need to figure out how much money we're sending out. We need to stop sending this fucking money over here. And we need to have this for the American people. I mean, what the fuck are we doing here?
There's so many young people being killed in this war, and that's not including the people that have been killed as the cities are being, knocked down building by building. So we really should get that stopped. Likewise, in the Middle East, I think we've made a lot of progress in the Middle East, and I think that's gonna come along pretty well.
Thank you, Mr. President. We know that most consequential
What's up, Jack? Good morning.
In the world is between the U.S. and China. U.S.
Yo, Tats over there in the UK as well, tuning in and hanging out with us. Very much appreciate you. Hopefully you're doing well.
% of the global economy, China close to 20. That's almost half of the global GDP. And we know that you called President Xi Jinping last Friday.
Hey, I really appreciate that, Christopher, saying just came in to say hey and hit that like button, but got to get some things done. We'll see you guys later. Hey, Christopher, absolutely. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We're doing a whole halt to the show. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I very much appreciate you guys, man. And our brother RP up in the building saying raids are going all over the U.S. This is great. Get the thugs back over the border. Absolutely. I agree. Absolutely. 100%. Back to this.
We heard that you had a good discussion.
Good morning, RP, by the way.
The relationship between the U.S. and China in the next 4 years under your leadership.
He called me, but I see it very good. I think that we're going to have a very good relationship. All we want is fairness. We just want a level playing field. We don't want to take advantage. We've been having massive deficits with China. Biden allowed it to get out of hand. He's $1.1 trillion deficit. It's ridiculous. And it's just an unfair relationship. And we have to make it just fair. We don't have to make it phenomenal. We have to make it a fair relationship. Right now, it's not a fair relationship. The deficit is massive, as it is with other countries, a lot of Asian countries, actually. But we have deficits that are very big, and we can't keep doing that. So we're not going to keep doing that. But I like President Xi very much. I've always liked him. We always had a very good relationship.
Real quick, regarding the whole, raid thing, people, you see the left losing their fucking mind over this shit right now. Now, what makes me lose my mind about like this immigration bullshit that we have seen, shit like this, just so you guys see this.
Where you going? Thank you. You?
India.
Where you going?
Oregon.
Thank you. You?
India.
Where you going?
New York.
Thank you.
India.
Where you going? Thank you.
India.
Where you going?
California.
Thank you. You?
India. California.
Thank you. You?
America.
Thank you. Where you going?
California.
You? Where you going?
Indianapolis.
Okay, thank you. Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Michigan. Where you from? ¿Dónde vienes? Where you going? Where you going? Where you from? Guinea. Where you going, sir?
I'm going to New York.
Thank you, sir. You?
Thank you.
Where you going?
Thank you.
Where you going?
Thank you.
What state are you going to? And you? Are you going to New York? Where you going?
Be safe out there,
You?
hot dog.
You? Louisville, you? New York, you? You? New York, you? New York? You? 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 Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? New York? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going?
Just endless.
Where you going? Where you coming from?
Senegal.
Where you going?
New York.
Where you
York.
coming from? Where you going?
Yeah.
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 Where you coming from? Where you going?
Yeah.
Where you going? Where you going? ¿Dónde vienes?
Colombia.
¿A dónde vas, viejo?
Estados Unidos.
¿Y usted? ¿A qué estado?
It's unreal.
Texas,
It just
usted?
continues.
¿Y usted? Texas, ¿y usted? ¿Viene? Okay. Where you from?
You know, free cotton, kid.
Where you from? Where you going? Where you going? ¿Dónde vienes? ¿Cuántos años tienes?
By
¿Vienes
yourself?
solo? Wow. Buenas
You're
noches.
solo? And he says,
¿Dónde
"Sí."
vienes? ¿A qué estado te diriges?
Yo, Tats.
South Carolina. Gracias. ¿Y usted?
Thank you so much for
¿De
the
dónde
gifted
viene?
membership, by the way.
Guatemala. ¿Vas a Washington? ¿A Kentucky? ¿Usted, señorita? ¿A Kentucky? ¿Usted?
It just
Kentucky,
continues. It just
usted?
keeps going. Dude, it's unreal. It's unreal. You know what I mean? It's super frustrating to see that. That's super fucking frustrating. But Tats, I can't thank you enough for the gifted membership, by the way. We had a little pause in the live stream with Donald Trump, so we're
Was
getting
very
right back into it.
strained with COVID coming out of Wuhan. Obviously, that strained it. I'm sure it strained it with a lot of people, but that strained our relationship. But we always had a great relationship, I would say, and we look forward to doing very well with China and getting along with China. Hopefully, China can help us stop the war with, in particular, Russia, Ukraine, and they have a great deal of power over that situation. And we'll work with them. And I mentioned that with during our phone conversation with President Xi, and hopefully we could work together and get that stopped. We'd like to see denuclearization. In fact, with President Putin prior to an election result, which was frankly ridiculous, we were talking about denuclearization of our two countries, and China would have come along. China has a much smaller right now nuclear armament than us, or field than us, but they're going to be catching it at some point over the next 4 or 5 years. And I will tell you that President Putin really liked the idea of cutting way back on nuclear. And I think the rest of the world, we would have gotten them to follow. And China would have come along too. China also liked it. Tremendous amounts of money are being spent on nuclear. And the destructive capability is something that we don't even want to talk about today because you don't want to hear it. It's too depressing. So we want to see if we can denuclearize, and I think that's very possible. And I can tell you that President Putin wanted to do it. He and I wanted to do it. We had a good conversation with China. They would have been involved, and that would have been an unbelievable thing for the planet.
Mr. President, when you're back here in Davos next year, will there be then a peace agreement with Ukraine and Russia by then?
Well, you're going to have to ask Russia. Ukraine is ready to make a deal. Just so you understand, this is a war that should have never started. If I were president, it would never have started. This is a war that should have never, ever been started. And it wasn't started during there was never even talk about it. I knew that it was the apple of President Putin's eye, but I also knew that there was no way he was going in, and he wasn't going to go in. And then when I was out, bad things happened, bad things were said, a lot of stupidity all around, and you end up with what you have. Now you have all these bombed out cities. They look like demolition sites with many people killed. I think the thing that you'll see about Ukraine is that far more people have died than is being reported. And I've seen that. But far, far more people have died. When you look at a city that's become a...
Listen, even one is too many. Even one is too many. Even one fuck up. Yeah, you may have, let's just say 1 out of 50 people that come through the southern border, actually are criminal. Well, that's one too fucking many. We need to shut that shit down. We have enough fucking domestic criminals here. You know what I mean? Shit.
Demolition site where big buildings have been collapsed by missiles hitting them and everything else. And they say one person was slightly injured. No, many people were killed. Those are big buildings. I was surprised at how that was my business. These are buildings that go 2 and 3 blocks long. They're 20 stories high. They're big, powerful buildings. And they
What's
were
up,
knocked
Sarah?
down, and there were a lot of people
Good to see you over there in Ireland, in Dublin, Ireland, by the way.
in those buildings that announced that 2 people were injured.
Hopefully you're doing well.
That's not true. So I think you're going to find that there were many more people killed in Ukraine in the Ukraine war than anybody has any idea. But if you look now, so many of the people being killed are soldiers just facing each other with guns, rifles, and drones, the new form of warfare, drones. And it's a very sad thing to see. And when you see pictures of the fields that I see, nobody wants to see it. You'll never be the same.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, on behalf of all the 3,000 participants here in Davos. We really,
Hey, Fathers Fight Back. I very much appreciate you hanging out with us. Hopefully you have a wonderful and blessed day, man.
Underline that joining us the third day in your presidency, live taking questions here is so appreciated. And we are already ready for receiving you next year in person. So thank you very much, and all the best from Davos.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's right, Claire. Try that anywhere else. They're simply just exploiting a system at the moment. Why wouldn't they? Come on, man. If the system is wide open where you could just walk in, essentially, why wouldn't you do it? And you get paid to do it? You know what I mean? You get here and then you get all the benefits of it and all that shit. Yeah, that's a fucking smart decision. You got to shut that shit down, homie. Well, I guess that's over. Wow. All right. Let's see if they just ended, or I guess they are. Yep, it is the very end. All right. Well, shit. I thought that was going to go a little bit longer than that. But I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out with us on this beautiful morning. And hopefully, like I said, you guys are staying safe and warm out there. Let me go ahead and figure out who I'm going to raid so that we can do a Mike Ball raid and we can continue on the fun with what we do over here. So let me go ahead and refresh my page and make this shit happen. Redirect. Let's see who is live right now. We have Jess. Jess is live right now. So guys, go over there. Go say we got a Mike Ball stream, Mike Ball raid. We're going to go ahead and have a good time over there with our Australian friends over there. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your day. I can't thank you guys enough because you guys decided, man, to be here with me, and you guys could have been anywhere else in the world. And I very much appreciate you guys. Yes. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way out as well. If you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. It is absolutely free to do so. So I very much appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys for tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. Stay safe out there, and God bless.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning.